Tuesday on ABC.
First at 10, we're covering breaking news of an Ebola scare here in Tulsa. Right now, the Tulsa Health Department says one person is in isolation after recently traveling to West Africa.
Now, we're told the patient has developed a fever tonight and is considered low risk. Channel 8's Ethan Calloway is live tonight outside the Tulsa Health Department. Ethan, what are you learning about this?
Well, guys, the Tulsa Health Department isn't releasing much information on that patient right now. They're trying to protect his or her identity, but what they are saying is that person returned from West Africa within the past 21 days and has been being monitored for that time until the CDC learned today that they had developed a fever. Now, we spoke with the Tulsa Health Department just a few minutes ago, and we will bring you that interview coming up a little later in this show. For now, reporting live, Ethan Calloway, Tulsa's Channel 8.
All right, Ethan, thanks. And now we continue our live team coverage right now. Channel 8's Bert Mumolo is live outside the OSU Medical Center. A source at our sister station says a patient is there tonight. Bert.
That's right, Mark. We've called the officials with the hospital and have yet to confirm that with them. But what we do know at this point, this from the Tulsa Health Department, is that the person is being monitored inside an emergency room at a local hospital. Again, any type of fever in this climate is cause for alarm. Reporting live, Bert Mumolo, Tulsa Channel 8.
His head was almost entirely severed from his body.
That's just one of the top stories that we're tracking for you tonight. New developments on that gruesome murder. A state trooper's son nearly beheaded in Stillwater. Is there a link to terrorism? A plane loses control on takeoff, slamming into a building near an airport in Kansas. The battle over inmate fees at the Tulsa jail. How the squabble over your tax dollars could cost you more in the long run. And our special report, why some people in Tulsa are living in fear, afraid to call the police. It's all because of their decision to challenge certain laws.
So right now we're tracking a big change just in time for Halloween. A freeze warning already in effect for Green Country. Temperatures are about to plunge. I'm in the Storm Center with Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Zeppelin. All right, just in time for Halloween trick-or-treating. Tonight's going to be a little chilly, isn't it?
It really is. Tomorrow. That gives you just some idea of just how cold this air mass is that will be settling in over the area. I'll show you just how cold it will be for trick-or-treating and for your Saturday morning in a few minutes.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jennifer.
Tonight, a battle over your tax dollars could end up costing you more in the long run.
The city of Tulsa is at odds with the county over jail fees paid to get the crooks off our streets. Now, the Tulsa City Council takes up the issue tonight. Right now, the city pays the county $45 a day per inmate, but commissioners want to raise the cost dramatically, charging a booking fee of $118 and $52 a day for housing. Channel 8's Bert Mumolo has the latest.
Inside the walls of the Tulsa County Jail, the rules of the road are black and white. But in the outside world, the rules of the jail are anything but.
That's very inappropriate and certainly out of line.
Mayor Dewey Bartlett appearing before the City Council today and reacting to the Board of County Commissioners' decision to charge the city a $118 booking fee per prisoner.
I cannot vote to allow the $118 booking fee.
At the council meeting tonight, a resolution was voted on stating just that, with councilors pushing the envelope further, asking that the jail undergo an efficiency audit.
Are there people who are getting their cars and their suits paid for out of the jail fund? And if so, I think the citizens of Tulsa ought to know about that.
As it is now, the city already pays the jail over $16 million a year, raising red flags that the new fees are simply double taxation.
We're already paying 1/4 cent jail sales tax, and now these additional fees, if you will, add to the burden that Tulsa is having to pay out of its general fund. I personally don't like being double taxed.
The county's reaction to the vote tonight? Quote, it doesn't really matter what they voted to pay. Absent an agreement, we will bill them for the actual costs. A battle brewing over the jail, with those on the inside paying their debt to society, while society pays the price of politics.
There's not enough acknowledgement, I don't think, that what hurts the city of Tulsa hurts Tulsa County, and what hurts Tulsa County hurts the city of Tulsa.
Bert Mumolo, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Also tonight, Stillwater police investigating a gruesome murder case. 19-year-old Jacob Crockett nearly beheaded with a large knife by a man he knew. That killing took place inside an apartment yesterday in a quiet neighborhood on the northwestern edge of town. 19-year-old Isaiah Marin is charged with first-degree murder tonight. He told detectives he recently fantasized about killing several people, including Crockett. 19-year-old victim was the son of a state trooper, but that does not appear to be the motive. While he was almost beheaded, terrorism has also been ruled out. People who live nearby find it hard to talk about such a horrible crime.
It's a nice area. It's kind of scary because we never ever thought that this could happen here, and it's just crazy.
That man just moved in 3 months ago. He never dreamed something like that could take place next door.
Thick black smoke billows from a building just moments after it's struck by a plane. That same smoke seen in the skies over the nearby airport in Wichita, where that plane had just taken off. Tonight, NTSB investigators are combing through the wreckage from that crash. 4 people are dead, 5 others hurt when it slammed into a flight safety building. Officials say that just the pilot was on the board that plane. Now, the pilot declared an emergency just seconds before the crash, saying he lost his left engine. Channel 8 learned that building is owned by Flight Safety based in Broken Arrow. It's estimated the company had 100 people inside the Kansas building at the time of the crash. They released a statement saying thank you to all who have reached out to us at this sad time. Your outpouring of sympathy touches and strengthens us. The entire statement is posted at KTUL.com.
We continue to monitor breaking news tonight. A patient recently back from West Africa being monitored for possible Ebola at a Tulsa hospital. We'll have a live update next.
Plus, are children from undocumented families putting a financial burden on our schools? And how much is it costing you? Our special report in just 8 minutes.
And back-to-back cold fronts are going to bring in a dramatic change. By tomorrow, we're looking at a big plunge in our temperatures. I'll show you just how cold it's expected to get.
If I give you $100, you can use $7.
And later, new video from the bizarre arrest of a former OSU football player and current Dallas Cowboy.
Tonight at 10, should anyone living in Tulsa fear calling the police?
People are still afraid of reporting crimes that are done to them.
They still live in fear. A Tulsa's Channel 8 special report tonight at 10.
Right now, we continue to update our breaking news. The Tulsa Health Department is monitoring a person who recently traveled from West Africa for Ebola symptoms. Tonight, we're told that person has developed a fever. Let's go back to Channel 8's Ethan Calloway at the Health Department with the latest.
And Mark, the health department still cannot say a whole lot about this case, but they are saying it is a low-risk situation. But all of this started when this person told health officials earlier tonight that he or she had developed a fever. The health department immediately implemented their isolation and evaluation plan, taking that individual to a local hospital via ambulance. Now, we spoke with the health department just a few minutes ago, right before going on air tonight. Take a listen.
The most important thing to remember is that this individual is low risk, which means that they did not come in contact with anyone infected with the Ebola virus. They were not there to treat patients with the Ebola virus, so they are low risk. So at this point in time, the medical facility is evaluating them to determine the future course of action.
And you heard right there, the health department is making sure that patient is being isolated and evaluated for the time being. Beyond that, they're not sure what will happen next, but they're hoping that this will remain a low-risk situation. We'll continue to keep you updated on air and online at KTUL.com. For now, reporting live, Ethan Calloway, Tulsa's Channel 8.
All right, Ethan, thanks. Thousands of undocumented families enter this country every year. Those children then attend local public schools, and it's illegal for those schools to deny them.
Is that putting a financial burden on our schools? How much are you paying? Channel 8's Yanami Farinas with tonight's special report.
Ivan Godinez Reyes still remembers his journey from Mexico to Tulsa.
I remember being nervous just because we're just walking through the darkness with people we don't know. It never really hit me until maybe in the middle of it, or when there was intense moments of hide, run, be careful. It's when you realize that you are, doing something very dangerous.
The nerves didn't go away once in Tulsa as he struggled to learn a new language and a new place.
Now, do the same thing for these two.
Tulsa Public Schools.
Tulsa Public Schools is very welcoming to children and make sure they want to educate them.
Immigration attorney Lorena Rivas says all schools are required to accept undocumented children. Because of the 1982 U.S. Supreme Court ruling, school officials are not allowed to ask if a child is a U.S. citizen.
There was a constitutional case that said that children are entitled to public education regardless of their parents' status and their own status.
State Representative Dr. Mike Ritz says that puts a strain on your wallets.
Right now, we don't know what the cost is for illegal immigrants flooding Oklahoma education facilities, but we do know that 54% of our budget right now goes to education in Oklahoma.
He says the state spends $12,000 on every student.
With the tight budgetary situation we have in Oklahoma, it could potentially raise our taxes to the point that we will be spending more and receiving less.
On top of impacting taxpayers, he believes it causes overcrowding and could affect a school's overall performance. Tulsa Public Schools spokesperson Chris Payne says there are benefits.
We do get federal funding and some state funding that's tied to, well, actually it's federal funding that's tied to English language learners. We also get some state funding related to students that are bilingual.
Last year, TPS received over $900,000 in federal funds for having what they call English language learners.
And they're children who, through no fault of their own, are here. So, you know, it's their reality.
Politics aside, Reyes believes his struggle was worth it.
When we do what we want to do and get an education, I think it's when my parents will finally say, see, this was worth it.
He plans to get a degree in education in hopes of becoming a teacher here in Green Country. Yadami Farinas, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Thank you, Yadami. Reyes is here legally with a 2-year work permit. He's currently working as a translator with a nonprofit that helps families in need. Now, right now, many undocumented residents in Tulsa are living in fear, and because of that, they become easy targets of crime. In many cases, they're robbed because they don't use bank accounts, and some criminals threaten to reveal their status. The crimes happen constantly, but many are never reported. An immigration attorney tells Channel 8 that it's time for undocumented people to stand up and not be afraid.
The Tulsa police and most police in general are very helpful to immigrants. They don't care what your status is, they're going to help you. If you've been a victim, you deserve to have protected and to have your case heard and fought for, investigated.
The main reason immigrants keep quiet, they fear deportation.
Now your forecast in the Oklahoma Ford Storm Center.
Right now we have clear skies outside, but a front that came at around 7 o'clock, it'll be down in the 40s by 9 o'clock in the upper 30s. The next 8 days, it is going to be cold. We are looking at 50s for highs. Friday, Saturday starts to slowly warm back up again on Sunday with 62, and we're tracking yet another system by early next week, and this could bring in some significant rainfall to the area.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Authorities in Frisco, Texas released bizarre surveillance video of Dallas Cowboys running back Joseph Randle following his shoplifting arrest. We'll have much more next. Once again, our top story tonight, the Tulsa Health Department is monitoring a person who recently traveled from West Africa for Ebola. Tonight, we're told that person informed health officials that they had developed a fever. That person had been taken to a local hospital. We're told the individual had been classified as low risk, meaning they did not have any known exposure to Ebola. We'll have more on this late breaking story on KTUL.com, also GMO at 4:30.